Hello everyone, you're listening to an episode of the Earful Tower podcast. My name is Oliver G. Who am I? Well, I'm just some Australian guy who's been living in Paris for 5 years, and I quite love Paris, and I love sharing it with you. But today is not a typical episode of the Earful Tower whatsoever. Rather the opposite, it's an atypical episode. What it is one of the bonus shows that I give to the Patreon supporters, the people who support this show. I do a sort of a top secret private podcast called the Earful Extra. And for a few different reasons, I'm releasing one of those private episodes into the wild to all you guys. Now, I'll go through a few of the reasons why I'm doing that in a second. But first, I think it's really important that I say this at the beginning rather than at the end. This episode, as with all the episodes this whole year, is brought to you by French Today audiobooks. And take a second to listen to this because this is hugely important. If you've ever thought of learning French, French Today audiobooks are a very good way to go, and never better than right now because they're having a Black Friday sale where they're giving 40% off their audiobooks, but they're giving you guys 50% off. And the way you can get that is you go www.frenchtoday.com/earfulblack. Now, the reason I'm being so serious and saying it all so quickly at the start of the episode rather than the end is because this offer runs out at midnight on Monday Pacific time. This episode is Monday, so you have today to get this 50% off, and it's 100% money back guarantee. It's look, you guys know how it works by now, but it's never been such a discount. So I'm literally going to explain how you do it right now. I'm doing it too, so we'll all do it together. www.frenchtoday.com/ and that's a /earfulblack. And when you hit enter, it'll come up with, let me see here, coupon code applied successfully. So when you get to the checkout, you'll see 50% off. Go and do that. It's this Black Friday sale. It's been on all week. If you've been following the newsletter and all the other stuff that I've been posting, you probably knew about it. But that is an insane discount. Go and get the most of it. Now, back to today's episode. There's a reason I'm releasing this bonus one, and partly that's because I want all you guys to sign up on Patreon and support the show. To listen to this secret podcast, it costs you $5 a month. Now, I don't know what $5 gets in your country, but if it's France, that's not even going to get you. I had a cappuccino yesterday, €6.20. €6.20 for a cappuccino. If you enjoy all this stuff to the value of a €6.20 cappuccino, then you're getting a great deal for $5 a month, if you ask me. But sign up on Patreon, get all this kind of stuff. This episode today is, well, you're going to hear me as I introduce it properly, but it's Shelly Bittler and Lina, my wife, talking about this concept of the Paris bucket list, something that I've organized between a bunch of friends and that's proving quite interesting and quite popular, not just in our group of friends, but online as people are hearing about it. So in really, really short, it's basically trying to do things in Paris, racing against the clock, and doing as many of these as we can before the end of the year. That's kind of what we're talking about. But before we get into this episode, let me just reveal some big news as well. Now, I've revealed this already in the to Patreon supporters and in the weekly newsletter, but I haven't said it on the air yet. Drum roll, please. No, can't do drum rolls. The news is that I've written a book, a whole book, 300-page book. It's a memoir, funny. I would say funny. The people who've read it have said it's entertaining. They've said it's funny. Someone said sizzling. This is a book about Paris, about my life in Paris, and I've tried exceptionally hard to make it an entertaining read. So what's gonna happen with that is December 11th, I'm having a sort of launch party in Paris. December 11th in the 7th arrondissement. If you're in town, let me know. The invites are running out already. The idea is I'm going to do a pre-sale launch, so people that want to buy it can. I'll have more information about that coming out in the days to come, but mark that in your diaries if you're in Paris. December 11th, the book's coming out. I am absolutely beside myself with excitement to share it with you, but more on that later. Here's an episode of the Earful Tower from the Earful Extra with Shelly and Lina, and once again, frenchtoday.com/earfulblack. And if you want Patreon, patreon.com/the Earful Tower. That's enough from me. Let's get into this episode. I hope you enjoy it.
Earful Tower listeners, or should I say Earful Tower Patreon supporters. This is a bonus episode of the show where I'm joined by not only two friends of the show, but two friends of mine. And I've been asked to do a specific introduction to them against my will, so I'm going to have to do that. But here we go. It's, what was it again? It was from Stockholm, 5'7".
8.
5'8". Lina, Norden, G.
And the crowd goes wild.
And 5'3". This is why we were doing it. From North Carolina, 5'3" and change, Shelly Bittler. Was that really worth it?
You're totally worth it.
Didn't you want the like in the corner in the
No, I was doing basketball.
corner.
Michael Jordan, you're from North Carolina.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I am basically Michael Jordan.
Slow start. So everyone
Well,
at
I
home,
am happy,
this
so
is
thank you for that.
Let me do a proper introduction here. The idea of today's episode is we're going to talk about something that's very dear to my heart that I'll explain in a second. But I've got my wife, Lina Norden, or more recently known as Lina Norden G, and Shelly Bittler, a very close friend of mine, and a Patreon supporter as well, Shelly. Thanks for that.
The best kind of
You've,
person.
you've been around since the beginning on that, so that's a sincere thank you. People like you keep this show going.
Some might call me an OG.
Yes, indeed. OG. So what we're here to talk about is this concept of this. Let me explain from the beginning. When the Notre Dame Cathedral burned, do you guys remember this?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. A lot of people, including myself, said, I always wanted to go to the top of that cathedral, and now we know it's going to take years before that's possible again. And I mean years, like at least 5 years, more, 6 years at least. And I was thinking about all the things that I wish that I climbed, and I started talking with some friends and came up with this idea of a bucket list.
Like a career.
What?
Climbed your career.
You mean the career
no.
ladder?
Never mind.
Oh, dear.
The ladder.
Okay, slow start.
Yeah. The idea, though, is that I convinced a bunch of friends to come up with 5 things they would want to do in Paris that they'd be disappointed if they couldn't do if it disappeared tomorrow. And we're going to talk about this list and how it's going and the 13 people that signed up. But the reason I've got these two in is partly because, Shelly, you're leading on this list.
Yes, I am.
You took it seriously from the beginning.
We're tied, Ollie.
That's true. We're tired. You can call me Ollie. That's fine.
Am I allowed to call you Ollie?
Oliver. Mr. G.
And Lena, you're not doing
Sir G?
you're not doing particularly well.
Well, I have the best intentions.
You do.
You're not doing the worst.
Yeah, I'm not doing the worst, and I think that will count for something. Definitely.
Indeed, it does count for something.
Yes,
and what I
thank
noticed
you.
is when I put this on Instagram or Facebook or both, I mentioned this idea of this burn list, this bucket list. I got a lot of messages, people saying, "Hey, tell me what's on your bucket list." So we're going to walk through all that today. But first, a bit of background. Shelley, how long have you been in Paris?
I've been in Paris now just over 5 years.
Okay, so long enough to know, long enough to kind of, I assume, have done a lot of the major touristy things that you wanted to do?
Well, France supposedly will let me apply to be a citizen, so...
They will?
Yeah, after 5 years.
Okay, that's
So there you go.
So you almost
Amazing.
can begin to become French.
Yeah, I
And
can.
you've...
So I should have done all the things, I think, probably.
Right, that comes with the territory, right? So I assume you've climbed the Eiffel Tower?
I have not climbed it. I have been up to the top in the lifts twice, in the daytime and at nighttime.
That counts.
Oh,
That
it counts.
right?
Totally
That
counts.
A lot, because that's another thing. A lot of Parisians never go to the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Ever.
They're like, nah, too touristy. Not for
Exactly.
me. I don't
Exactly.
care.
Actually, yeah, the first, even more than that, the first year I was in Paris, I went to the fireworks on the Fête Nationale, Bastille Day, on the 14th of July, and one of my friends came with me who is French and Parisian, and she had never been to the fireworks before in her whole life.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Perfect
And
example.
that's something we're going to talk about later because a lot of the French people on this list had really intriguing things, I thought. But more on that
Really
later. Lena,
specific.
let's hear your credentials. How long have you been in Paris?
4 and a bit.
4 and a bit?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Years, that is.
yeah.
Not days.
And how do you feel your knowledge of Paris is?
I feel like it's pretty good.
Yep.
Could probably be better. I'm not very good with directions in general, but that's not part of. Like, I don't really know my way around that well, but like sort of.
But you've done a lot of the touristy stuff.
Yes.
Okay. So the idea was we got a group together, 13 people in the end. And I think you guys can vouch for the fact that I was very annoying in getting people to come up with their lists.
Yeah,
Fair?
yeah. People are not really.
Fair.
into like people
You're
are
a
a bit
stickler for the rules.
lazy.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I think I lost some friends over this.
We had
Yeah.
some
Worth it?
deadlines.
Yeah. So the idea, everyone at home, is I said, guys, give me 5. All you have to do, all I said is just put 5 things in a Google Doc that was shared. That's all you have to do. And the idea to add a bit of fire under their feet was that we had to try and do it by the end of the year.
Didn't you also have them ranked in order of difficulty?
I tried, but people didn't.
I pay
do it.
attention to the
You did?
rules.
Yeah.
Me too.
Wow, you're a team player.
So we got a bunch of cool things, but let's
I
start.
just like to win.
And you might do that, Shelly.
That's a very driving force.
Don't play
here.
games you can't win.
Oh yeah.
Well, you got 12 other people to compete with. Why don't we start with you, Shelly? Walk us through your list
All right,
from
so
easiest to hardest.
So I did, in fact, rank my list from easiest to hardest. So my number 1 was to visit the Galerie d'Evolution in the Natural History Museum.
So we're talking specifically about which bit is that?
It's the part in the Natural History Museum that's like the giant hall with all the animals kind of lined up, like in the
And it's not
safari.
the skeletons.
No,
you're
they're
talking
like
about.
taxidermied
Yeah.
animals. And I'd seen loads of photos and thought it looked like this cool, magical time capsule of a old decrepit museum place. And I just have never been.
And
Amazing.
that's the whole point of
Had
this,
to
right?
never been.
It's 15 euros to get in or whatever, and you just never done it, even though it's right there.
Yeah, it's on the other
And
side of Paris.
Exactly,
it's
like
far.
it's a little bit out of the way. It's easy to forget about it.
But I see there's a tick next to this now.
There
Shelley.
is a tick next
Did
to
you
that.
enjoy it?
I did, really. Actually, it kind of surpassed my expectations because I had heard of a few other people that went and said it was like meh.
Yeah.
But it was a very cool place. Like the building kind of looked like it was stuck in like the 1920s or something. Like all of the cases that were the animals were in.
Did you go to the skeleton bit on the side as well?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Thoughts?
And I thought that part was interesting, but less so.
Yeah.
Did you go to the part where, or did you notice that the lighting in the main hall changes according to the time of day?
No.
Well, we thought we went to that, like the main thing, but we actually only went to the skeleton.
Yeah, we went to the skeleton
part.
bit. But that's because
So-
it was on the hottest day Paris ever recorded.
Yeah, so I think we had like
we
break.
went,
pass.
we went looking
Freeze.
for shade and there was no air conditioning
Get
there.
a pass. No, it's very
Yeah.
cool. In the main hall, they have this big light installation along the side, and the light changes along with the sounds in the giant hall. So, like, it sounds like in the morning wood on the Sahara, or then like
cool.
the light
Oh,
changes to
wow.
like the light of a sunset, and you hear all the night animals, and it's
Oh,
really
I
cool.
love that.
Really
That's-
cool.
that's
Okay, we have
cool,
to go.
But I also realized we got a lot to get through. So
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
going to go through fast on a note.
Yeah.
Second on your list, you've put Monet's House and Gardens.
Yes.
That's
also
a-
tick.
Yeah, also tick. And another classic thing that people haven't seen.
Yeah, there were a few people with that on their list, I think.
And that was another
So
thing.
this is out in Giverny.
Yes.
Right.
And we did
Yeah.
an episode out there, you and I. In
we
fact, there was an
did.
Earful
We did.
Tower listener that stopped us.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the funny thing, the plan with the list is we got this big WhatsApp thread, and the idea is you say, hey guys, I'm going to go and tick off the Monet's Gardens on Saturday if anyone wants to come. And that way, all of us in the group are getting this opportunity to see more of Paris, which has been happening. It's been pretty cool. But next you got,
Go to a PSG match.
okay, football, soccer.
Yeah, Paris Saint-Germain.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of people go, and I don't know as much about soccer, but it looks like a cool atmosphere.
Right.
So
Did you just put that on the list because someone else on this list happens to work for PSG?
I didn't. I've just always wanted to go. And
Easy
also, my
access.
brother is a massive PSG
Right.
fan. So
I think you're cheating a little bit by putting a friend's workplace on the list. I think just I say this
So
because
should you not mention that her next one is like be on an Eiffel Tower episode?
no, but that actually came further down the list from
Really?
Stefan. We get to that.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, Stefan, you did.
And then you got take a perfume making class,
I
which was
do.
also
Yep.
repeated on the list.
Tick,
Hey,
yeah.
you've done that too.
I did.
How'd that go?
It was awesome. I actually really highly recommend it to
Give 'em a
anybody,
shout out. Where did you
anybody
do
coming
it?
to visit Paris. So I went with my mom to this place called Molinard. So that's Molinard. It's near Saint-Sulpice. I think it was 89 euros. We were there for 2.5, close to 3 hours. And you get guided through picking from 90 different essences to make your own 50 milliliter perfume.
So you
So
walked away
cool.
with the little perfume.
Yeah, 50 mils. Yep.
So 89 per person.
Yep, and you can. They keep your formula on hand, so you can actually you can order it anytime you want.
If
you
it's
want.
any
Could you
good.
order it
If
like
it's any good.
online afterwards? So you'd be like, you have your little account.
No, I think you have to call.
How much? How was it? The smell was it good?
Yeah, I'm really happy with mine. Actually, I think it was funny because the woman guiding it
She
hated everything I picked.
Really?
hated everything you picked.
No.
Yeah, she kind of made fun of me the whole time. And
What
then
did you like?
At the
What were you
end, she
into?
said it was truly wonderful and that was not a joke.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Really? Did they do it in English?
Yeah, they do it in English and in French, so you
Okay,
can take
cool.
and it was just me and my mom, which was great.
That's so
Molina.
cool.
Yeah, highly recommended.
What
really
what
fun.
what were the scents that you picked? Like mostly, what did
Mine
you
was like
say
a
towards?
bergamot, incense, rose. There was some pear in there. I think patchouli, kind of like a woody,
kind of heavy
floral.
and sweet?
Yeah, like a woody, flowery
Oh,
smell.
that sounds really nice.
Really recommend it. Very cool.
I'd love to do that.
As I scroll further down the list,
I think that might be on your list.
yeah.
Lina.
It was on my list.
why didn't you go? With
Because I'm
Shelly?
cheap.
Oh, really? Was it?
Yeah. I will though.
Yeah,
I will
I
also
mean-
give a shout out. They also have a 39-euro class.
Ah.
That's only a half an hour, so
Yeah.
there's still an opportunity.
There
Well, there is
is,
a deadline,
and the
by the
year
way.
is not over.
Well, that's the
so
thing.
I
You're
might,
running out of time.
Yeah.
Ollie, Christmas gift for Lina, maybe?
Well, yeah, maybe. But I don't. I want to win as well. It says because the reason there's a bit of competition here to keep people going. I wrote that. Let me see what I wrote. I think I said if there's someone who doesn't do it, they have to buy a drink for all the people who complete their list by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Which is going to mean a lot of drinks.
Which means we're gonna have a great party.
yeah, it's going to be fun.
A few select people are gonna get very drunk.
It feels like people are going to get broke as well. Okay, and then what have you got the last one here?
My last one is to see an opera at Palais Garnier, which is the big opera house.
And you've organized this already.
I
saw it on the
have,
thread.
yeah.
A
So
bunch
this
of people
was-
are going.
Yeah, there's 6 of us.
Ah.
So
That's one of the things that's so nice with this. Is kind of it's bringing people together as well.
Yeah, I think it's
really nice.
It's really cool.
socially.
It's something that we would have, like, if you think about it, we probably all would have spent, I think the tickets for the opera were 45 euros. Like, if we went out for dinner and drinks and stuff, you would easily spend that much
Absolutely.
money. But we would have never done this otherwise. Like,
Yeah.
6 of us would never have booked tickets to go see King Lear.
Is that what you're saying, King Lear?
Yeah, at the
Lear.
opera.
Have
What
fun.
language?
I'm not really sure. It's a
mix?
they've adapted the Shakespeare play to an opera, so I'll report back in a couple weeks.
All right.
So that is the whole point of this idea. Was I quite like getting people together to do fun things. It's one of the things I enjoy in life, and what I really enjoyed was seeing, just knowing that 6 of you guys are going to go see the opera
Yeah,
because
something
of this
you never do
burn
otherwise.
list.
Pretty cool.
Warmed my heart. So Shelly, you've done 3 out of 5, looking like you're going to win.
Pretty good.
Let's talk through Lina's as well.
The
now.
thing is,
Do we
though,
have to?
is winning just complete? Do we have to win? Do you have to complete them first? Do we think to win?
To be honest, there is no real winning.
I don't
'Cause
think
my
you really
next-
have a competition here, to be honest.
My next 2 are booked. And
Are you
No, are you trying to say
kidding
you've
me?
won by booking?
I mean,
Forget
no,
about
but
it.
I mean,
Oh,
if
no,
somebody
no, no.
completes them before they're booked, then
Girl,
I can't. Like, I
no.
can't do them any faster at this point. So
I think the real winner is our hearts.
It is,
Yeah,
and
and
our
Paris.
friendship.
Now, Lina, what have you got on your list?
if you're not first, you're last, Ollie.
All right, so my list is as follows.
How about you go through the whole list and then we'll stop on the one you find most interesting.
All right, so I have Fondation Louis Vuitton. Never been. I don't know why. It just never happened.
So this is out in the Bois de Vins.
Exactly.
No,
Like
Boulogne?
I don't.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing, but I don't really know what it is. Is it a museum? Is it just a cool building? Like is
It's
it
both.
What is it?
It's great.
See, like I don't know. Next
should
one
go.
is.
It's on my list.
And this one, I to be fair, I actually really tried. I organized this and it happened. It just didn't happen according to plan. So
Right.
my next one is have an absinthe eve.
I like how you wrote Eve too.
Yeah, it's an eve.
It's not
You
an
gotta-
evening. It's not
Did
a
you
song.
misspell
No, it's a
absinthe? Is there an E on the end of absinthe?
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. Is there an eve?
I like it.
E in the
It's
end
like,
of
you know,
eve?
You
I
tried
don't-
to add the fun of New Year's Eve to it, you know?
Tried,
And have
tried to
some-
make it
Okay,
sound
so-
more
So what
chic.
exactly? Well, so what actually happened to my absinthe eve? I got together a good little group, but what happened is that the absinthe place that I found on Google, damn you Google. Can I say damn?
They're not sponsoring the show.
Oh,
Fine, you
there
say
we
what you
go.
want. Oh, and can you say damn? Yeah, you can say damn. I thought you meant Google. Go for it.
Yeah, it closed down, and Google didn't tell me. So
Oh,
the
no.
absinthe place is now like a shitty little
Definitely
beer
can't
place.
say that.
Really?
Yeah.
Beer. I'm sorry.
So that was a failure.
Yeah, so my absinthe eve turned out to be a beer eve. But I mean, I feel like I can like half ticket because I sort
No,
of
can't.
Yeah,
There's
no.
it was a
absence.
good
Doesn't count.
initiative.
There's
no.
no.
But there was no intake of absinthe, to be fair.
Third on the list, you've got a tick.
Third, yes, and this we did for your birthday actually. So I kind of kind of water skied after your little point there.
I feel like you guys maybe made your lists together.
I think Lina saw my
Because
list
I see
and
a few
copy-pasted
repeats.
it. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
we just know
get
each
back
other
to the-
so
We'll
well.
get back to the cruise. Then you've
Okay.
got private roof with a Paris
It was
view.
cruise. We didn't even say what it was. Cruise on the Canal Saint-Martin.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, that was it. And tick. That is my one tick. Next one is get on private roof with amazing Paris view.
Who wrote this? Yoda? Get on private roof with amazing Paris view.
Oh my god.
So you want to go on a private roof?
Yes.
What's your plan to attack that one?
Well, my plan is like we have this friend called Sam. And he's got a private roof.
What?
No, hear
That
me
does
out.
not have an
that
amazing
does
view.
not have an amazing view.
Not
I've
at
been
all.
there several times. I want to be on like one of these scary high
Yeah.
ones. I don't want to like fall to my death or anything.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. But I just want to like be up there, get a little sunset, get a little wine.
Well, there you go. Maybe someone
is that
listening-
too hard? Is that too much to ask for? I
Everyone's
don't
got a
know.
roof over
Yeah.
their head.
Do they?
Well, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
anyone's listening, give Lina a call.
You want to know a
Please.
crazy tiny story?
Yes.
Sure.
One time there's no access to the roof on my building, but they had scaffolding all up the inside of the building while there were works on the building. And once I climbed up the scaffolding at
Your
like
mum might be listening.
2 a.m. Sorry, Mom. And got on top of my building.
Oh, my.
It has a crazy view of Sacre-Cœur.
Oh, I can imagine.
That sounds
That's great.
amazing.
Yeah.
See,
Anyway.
like it's sort of like that. I know we can
Well,
get
but
on
don't
our
do that.
roof. No.
No.
I know we can get on our roof, but it's also like doom and
Yeah.
gloom.
Ours isn't conducive
All right,
to
so
a
we
It
roof.
need to
is
find
not.
somebody with a great roof.
So get in touch,
this
listeners out
is-
there. And then your fifth on your list is
And
perfume
also
making
after
class.
that, give me some English lessons.
Perfume making class, which we figured from Shelly is
Yeah.
possible. My list, I'm going to go through it quick. So I wrote this before my birthday, and I was pretty cheeky. On my birthday, I invited all the people on this list and more to come with me on a cruise down the Canal Saint-Martin because I've always been curious about doing that. We've picnicked and all that at the canal. This is the canal where Amélie skims the stones and where all the hipsters hang out. But you see the boat go along, and then halfway through it goes underground before it reaches the Seine. Always wanted to do it. We did it. It was pretty fun.
was
Would
cool.
recommend it.
It was really
wouldn't be
good.
the first thing I'd recommend to a tourist ever, but it's
because of the time.
it's
consume.
not. I think a barge down the Seine is more fun. To
Also,
be honest.
I think the way we did it, we made it more fun than maybe
well,
would have been.
it was my birthday day, I think, so we made it a bit
Yeah.
of an occasion.
No, but also
Yeah.
how we just stayed in the very back and had our own little party
True.
instead of
True.
sitting in the
Yeah.
chairs.
So I wouldn't recommend that, but it's a perfect. But I mean, I would recommend it, but not as your main thing to do. And then we all went to a cocktail bar called the Little Red Door, which I just heard about before. I didn't know anything about it, and we all went there afterwards. So 2 of those things ticked off.
Was that on your list too?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did 2 in one day.
I feel like, lady, you haven't looked at this list, and I'm
Well,
beginning to
it
question
was
what you're
hard to
doing on
find.
the blue microphone right now. But also on my list, Fondation Louis Vuitton that has already cropped up in conversation.
Oh, that's funny. That's also on Lina's list.
What?
And then Atelier de Lumière, which
I
we
really
did
wanna
the other
go
day.
there.
Now,
I
let me
wanted to
just
go.
speak to you guys at home. Do this if you have the chance. It doesn't last for so much longer in Paris. It's Van Gogh or Van Gogh, as a Dutch person told me to say the other day. And
Very
it's kind of
genuine.
interactive artwork, beautiful. And we'd just been down to Saint-Rémy de Provence and seen the places where he'd painted. And so it was really cool for me. And then number 5, I went for a bit of a wild one. It was my hardest one. I put Asterix World. Well, this is kind of crazy. It's like everyone
Dun,
says
dun,
Disney
dun.
World is, or Disneyland. What's it called, the one in Paris? Disney World?
Disneyland.
Disneyland
Disney
Paris?
World is.
Yeah.
Everyone says it's not that great.
I've heard very mixed
I've
reviews.
actually heard great reviews.
Yeah, like really either
Roller coaster.
terrible.
If
The
you
other
like
one is
roller-
like amazing. Definitely
But I'll
go
tell you,
there.
Yeah.
everyone has said that Asterix World has the best rides.
Rides,
Parc
yeah.
d'Astérix. So I'm going to get that. And a lot of people copied that on their list.
It's going to be cold, though.
Yeah.
I know, but I've got to do it. So I'm going to do that in
I
the
don't
coming
know.
weeks.
I might sabotage for you.
You might sabotage
Yeah,
that one?
I might try.
So what I thought was interesting on other people's lists that I mentioned, because it's really cool to see, and I hope people at home are thinking about their own bucket list and what they'd like to do. But it was really cool to see what other people wanted to do. And as I'm scrolling through, I'm going to point out a few.
Do
For
we have some
example,
wild cards? here?
yeah. Stefan, a French friend of mine, that used to be our neighbor, had really French things. For example, I didn't even understand it. Number 2, have a drink at Rosa Bonheur, which is a bar in the 19th. And he wrote, and maybe meet Vernon Subutex from the eponymous book by Despentes.
Oh,
That's
My
very
God.
French. And so...
I
That's
feel like he kind of went
amazing.
into it like
That's so
knowing he wasn't
funny.
going to complete
Do
his
you
list.
think? No, but a
Yeah.
few other people, the other French people, right? For example, like they all had like these extra bits on the end. So Clovis wrote Musée de Barbizon with possible cycle ride from Fontainebleau Forest.
Oh, okay.
He also wrote Vincennes horse
So
races.
poetic.
And possibly bet a little.
Like a little suggestion on
a
the
little
end.
bit.
Maybe not.
Why not bet a little?
Depends.
Fantastic. And there was another
Anne
one.
Law kind of did that too, didn't she?
So her final thing, are you talking about the pottery there?
Yeah, the pottery or
Well, she said, take a pottery class at Paris Nîmes or visit the World War II bunker under the Gare de l'Est. But that seems less feasible,
it's like 2 in 1.
right?
Yeah. So like,
Oh,
wait, if
that
she,
is tricky though.
if she does only one, does then she only get half of a check mark?
I don't know. I don't know how... Well, she is taking it seriously because I know she also had to have a cocktail at the Bar Hemingway and they were there the other night.
Yeah, they did, and they did the Pantheon that same day.
So people are
Yeah.
ticking things off.
People are getting scared. Time is coming.
I know. There were some other funny ones. A friend of ours, Ben, like everyone had, it showed a lot about their personality. And I really recommend, if you guys listening are coming to Paris with some friends, to do this same list. Maybe just 3 things if you're coming for a short ride, for a short trip. But Ben had these interesting ones like Friday night rollerblade with Paris roller.
I love that.
What is
Have you
that?
guys ever
Like
seen
Ben.
the rollerbladers?
Is this the guys
And also,
that go
have you
through
guys
the
ever
city?
seen
Yeah, I
Ben?
think so.
Like, you don't
Yeah.
really. This is not something you
Yeah,
would
so, like,
connect with Ben. Ben
Every
is quite-
Friday, like hundreds of
Right.
people get together and rollerblade all through
They
Paris.
I had
close
no
off the
idea.
streets, I
It's like
think.
the most ridiculous thing
Oh, I love
I've
it.
ever seen.
The
You're
co-
walking across the street
Right.
and like then you just have to stop because there's just hundreds of people on rollerblades going
Yeah,
by.
I think the police
Amazing.
sort of cordon off street. The police who also wear rollerblades sometimes in Paris. When I first came to Paris, I was at the Louvre, the courtyard of the Louvre, and I saw 2 police in rollerblades, or maybe roller skates, or whatever the difference is. And I was like, no way.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. I asked if I could take a photo of them.
But Paris police is on all sorts of weird and
True.
ridiculous
Modes
transportation.
of transport, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that the horses transport organs?
No.
They do that. They use the horses for organ transport.
Like horses'
know that.
organs?
like between hospitals, like if they
No,
have an
you are
organ.
kidding.
No, I'm serious because they don't get stuck
Why?
in traffic.
Neither do scooters, incidentally.
That's what somebody told me.
How about the
I don't know if it's true.
Amazon drone?
What? Hang on. Horses transport.
Someone told me once because I saw the guys, the officers in like the fancy outfits on the horses in the Marais, and I was like, what are they doing just hanging out in the middle of Paris? And one of my friends said, so I mean, could be not true, that one of their responsibilities is urgent organ
Are
transport.
you kidding me?
That's amazing.
But
Yeah.
like, wouldn't they be
Fact check that
galloping?
one.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, I mean, they
Surely
probably
they'd be
weren't
galloping
transporting right
around.
then, but
Yeah.
you know.
I've never seen a horse gallop in Paris.
There you go. Fact
a
check it.
few more shout outs that I found interesting. John Clark, who's been on the podcast before, he made life hard for himself. He's got a tick in there, but on number 2, go to both of Paris's only cheese shops where they actually make cheese.
I thought that was kind of a cool one though.
But just go to one.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that
Come
is
on,
very ambitious.
Yeah.
right.
And he doesn't have any. Well, no, he did one. Catacombs.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he's claustrophobic. He
Oh, he's
wrote in
also
the
got
group chat
Asterix
afterwards.
World.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
there's gonna
scrolling
be-
the list now. I
there's gonna be
haven't
a bunch of-
really seen this before.
You
It's
know,
great.
You could have studied up before coming.
I feel like
I
feel
know.
like Jay's are
This
pretty
is great.
easy, except for he's got one. Actually, this is a good point. Jay's is actually now impossible.
Because
Monet's gardens are closed until spring.
Oh,
and he's also
Jay, you
got
just got
Carnivale.
disqualified.
We're talking about Jay Swanson, the YouTuber who's also been on
Watch
the show.
out, Jay.
He's also got Carnivale Museum, which I've heard isn't opening again until 2020.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, Jay.
Oh, laugh of glee.
But you know, one other thing I found quite interesting. Oh, you too. Aga, a friend of ours who's recently moved to Paris.
Hi, Aga.
Hello,
Hi,
Aga, if you're
Aga.
listening. She writes, I want to have a dinner at a restaurant with live French music. And she'd written like in a French movie.
Now that's cute.
Yeah.
That's
very
really
cute.
sweet.
Yeah.
I hope she wears a beret.
She also went wine tasting in a non-touristy place. Kind of cool, huh?
I feel like we did that.
Did we?
Yeah.
We did wine drinking.
No, doesn't that count? I mean, it's tasting it, right?
Yeah, true.
I think that is kind of the highlights of the list. We'll give a shout out to Carolyn and Mike as well, who might be listening. But Carolyn had a fun one. She wants to drive down the Champs-Élysées and around the Arc de Triomphe.
That's really sweet.
That one was
also, yeah, I mean, there's no insurance if you crash
I've heard that.
around, what do you call it? What's it called? That big arc. Oh, Arc de Triomphe.
yeah.
Did you know that the original design for that was, I think, like a horse or an elephant or something.
Elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
But
was also
now-
on the Eiffel Tower.
But don't you
Crazy.
think like it looks sort of like an elephant still,
Kinda,
the
yeah.
shape of it?
That's apparently why they went with it. Like the idea was to do a big elephant like they had planned for the
Have we
Bastille.
talked about this before?
Yeah,
I think
did.
I'm like, did I hear it on the show? Is
I
that
did an
what it was?
episode
maybe.
where Lina, you came in to provide the comic relief.
Oh, yes.
I'd researched
yes.
it about elephants in Paris. Find it in the previous episodes. But also a shout out to Mike, who has Atelier de Lumière, Disneyland, and the Opera Garnier on it as well.
highs
So
and lows.
there's a little glimpse into sort of my friendship group, but also what people want to do in Paris. What do you guys think about this idea of getting to be a tourist in your own city? Is it something you like, or is it kind of like
What, us or
in
the
general,
audience?
yeah.
Oh, right.
At least the audience can't answer
Yeah, that's true. Well, they could.
by email.
Guys, do it now. Like, just say it out loud.
What do you think, Shelly?
I really like it, actually. I mean, I think I'd come to Paris a few times before I moved here. And so I'd done a lot of the kind of, I guess, air quotes, more touristy things, like going up the Eiffel Tower, for example. I did that before I moved here. But I think after you move here, it kind of becomes life somewhere else. And so, and especially for me, I travel during the week. So on the weekends, a lot of times I don't really want to do anything except catch up on life, like laundry and you
just
know,
like take it easy.
seeing friends
a
and
bit.
cleaning your apartment. And like sometimes I forget the Eiffel Tower is there until I see it's like light go over the over the top. So it's nice to. I think it's helped me not take where I live for granted a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, because it's really amazing to live here and to have the opportunity to live here. So it's cool to get back out and remember what's out there. And
I think about that sometimes when I say it to you then when I'm walking down the street, to like a really beautiful street, and just a normal walk, and I say there are people in the world who would pay a lot of money to be doing this right now.
Yeah.
And all I'm doing is a Friday afternoon
Just
walk.
walking,
Yeah.
going and getting a
And
baguette
I
or
remember,
something.
like, as a kid, it was like, I mean, like in high school, it was like one of my dreams was to come here. And when the first time I came, we saved for like a long time to be able to buy, you know, flights to be able to come. So yeah, it's been cool. And I think there are also it's reminded me too, there are always things in life that you have on your list that you want to do and that you never quite get to doing. And it's just funny that
Especially
like
when they burn down.
all you need is like a little competitive
It could be
push.
simple things as well. It could
Yeah.
be things like it doesn't have to be a big deal. Just like going to the cheese shop where
For
they
sure.
make cheese. It's not like it's
And-
not that hard. And it's just a good reminder. I
What
agree.
about you, Lena? Do you find you live in Montmartre, very touristy area?
Yeah.
Does that annoy you?
No, it doesn't actually at
Never?
all. No, not really, because there are touristy parts and then not touristy parts. And the street, for example, where we live, is like it's pretty calm. So it just depends where you go. Like I don't go up by Place de Tertre.
No one can pronounce it.
For example, like I just don't. I know up there by Sacré-Cœur it will be absolutely packed. So if I don't feel like seeing lots of people, I just don't go
Yeah.
there.
I get a little annoyed by the tourist buses, I must say. The
Yes.
coaches.
Okay, yes,
They annoy me.
Yes.
Those ones that sort of bring 100 people in. They
They're too
clog up all the
big.
roads. Yeah,
Yeah.
they stop at all the traffic lights. You can't get through. And then the people get out and then just like a mad swarm.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that kind of annoys me.
Otherwise, the tourists make me happy. To be honest, they do. They're so excited. They walk around in their berets. They take pictures, and it's just like it. That also is a good reminder for me to be like, wow, I actually live in Paris.
Yeah.
It's in a beautiful place, and people are so excited to be here. So
I'm going to wind things up now because time has gotten away from us with an easy, hard question for all three of us.
Ooh.
Right? Who wants to go first, just so I know?
I don't know.
Shelly. Okay.
jeez. Okay.
So what I'm going
Hot
to
seat.
ask is, you're talking now to a lot of people around the world
Hi,
who
people.
love Paris and would love to hear from someone like you guys, and me, I'll do one as well. Can you give a tip of something that's surprisingly good to do in Paris that's not a main tourist attraction?
Whoa, that is hard.
Whoever can think of one first can go first.
Oh.
I'll go first, okay? And you guys can think. I would recommend that people go to either the Bois de Vincennes or the Bois de Boulogne, the two big parks on the east and west of Paris. Both have a really lovely lake, and both you can rent a boat and do a little rowboat session on the lake. And a lot of people would overlook those parks thinking they're too far away, but you can get to them pretty easily with public transport, and there'll be fewer people than in the central parks, and I think you'll quite like it. That would be my tip. Visit a big park. Who wants to go next?
That's good. Do you have one?
I think I can have one.
Go on, Shelly.
Well, I have two.
No.
I only have to pick one?
Yeah.
Okay, I can pick one.
Unless they're both parks.
No, none of them are parks.
Go on, what's your ultimate tip?
I think my ultimate tip would be, and this is part of, because it's against my personality as a traveler, would be to invest in booking yourself like a little class to do something here that you like wouldn't normally do at home. As I've done a couple now, like the perfume making class, and I did another one with my mom and my aunt once with, if you Google Fred and breakfast.
Fred and breakfast.
Yeah, like
Okay.
bed and breakfast, because
Yeah.
he has one of those
Oh,
too.
Clever.
Chef Fred, he teaches like French cooking classes, and we cooked lunch and then ate it and drank wine together. And then his family actually owns, and I'm gonna forget that, Delarin. His family used to own Delarin, like the cooking shop. That, or like I booked for my brother once when they came a macaron making class.
Yeah,
and I think that those things like take you outside of your normal life, and they maybe cost a little bit more, but also like you get to talk to someone who's here and like really knows a lot about something that's kind of specific to here. And I don't know, it just made me feel a little bit more connected. I think those kinds of things are worth the
Great
good
answer.
one.
Great answer and
Yeah,
good tips.
very good.
Thanks, Shelly.
worth the spend, and not something I would normally do when I travel because I'm cheap. But I think it's worth like the hours.
Yeah.
I think
it's
so
like
too.
a
Getting
nice
to meet a
experience.
local is
Yeah.
something you often miss when you travel.
Yeah, true.
Lena, what have you got?
Oh, wow. Going after that, it won't be very easy, but okay.
I
what
like
do
to win.
have?
What did I told you already.
I think it would just be something simple, really like, well, sort of mundane, I guess. And either to just like sit down in a cafe for an hour, people watch, like it is surprisingly good. I know it's really cliche, but it is surprisingly good. Another thing is to take.
You're only allowed one.
Yeah, you are kind of doing two here.
Oh my god, no, but mine was so bad and short.
Okay.
Okay, so my other one
I
is
have
to
more
take.
She's married to the host though.
Is to take another street that you would normally take. Don't take the first choice always.
Yeah.
Like so you explore a bit more.
That would have been my other
Like
one
another.
too.
Yeah.
Wander.
Yeah. Just walk
Headphones
around.
on, no map.
Exactly.
Well, maybe not no map.
Get a little bit lost.
Head in a direction.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Walk
Yeah.
towards the sun.
Get lost. Get lost, everybody. But it's totally true. And something I've said on the show before. But that winds up our episode about the Paris burn list. I encourage everyone at home to consider getting a few things to tick off. Paris isn't a checklist. Neither is any traveling. And especially when you look up best things to do or whatever, make a bit of a different one. And I think you will find the rewards are very quick to come and beneficial to your travel. But you too, thank you for coming in to the
Thank
studio.
you
Yeah,
for
thanks,
having
Sally.
us.
And good luck with the rest of your burn list.
Thank you.
Maybe
it's
we should be
on.
wishing you luck.
I'm just off to book
Oliver.
ticket to Park Asterix.
It's on.
I'll
I'm
see you guys.
sabotaging.
I'll see you at the very next event from the burn list. Thanks again.
I don't really know where we are. I just wanna look at the stars.